For decades, humanity believed deep space would answer us with silence. Then Voyager 1 spoke again. Not with a routine telemetry update. Not with static. Not with corrupted data from an aging spacecraft drifting through darkness. What came back was something no scientist expected. A pattern. At first, researchers at NASA thought the transmission was a malfunction. Voyager 1 is nearly 50 years old. Its systems were never designed to survive this long, let alone operate beyond the heliosphere in interstellar space. But this signal was different. Hidden inside the electromagnetic noise were repeating mathematical structures, sequences that appeared again and again with impossible precision. Prime number intervals. Recursive harmonics. Layered frequencies nested within one another like digital fingerprints. Natural phenomena do not usually behave this way. The deeper analysts looked, the stranger it became. Teams across the world began comparing the data against every known cosmic source: pulsars, quasars, magnetars, radiation bursts, even experimental military transmissions. Nothing matched. Then artificial intelligence systems were brought in. Machine learning models trained on decades of astrophysical data began dissecting the transmission layer by layer. What humans saw as chaotic noise, the AI interpreted as organized architecture. The signal wasn't random. It was structured, encoded, intentional. And buried within that structure was something extraordinary. The AI discovered geometric relationships hidden in the waveform itself, fractal-like arrangements repeating across multiple scales. Three-dimensional projections generated from the data revealed shapes no one could explain. Rotating constructs. Impossible symmetries. Objects that seemed less like machines and more like mathematical ideas made visible. Some researchers described them as thought structures. Others called them non-human logic models. No consensus existed. Only growing unease. Because Voyager 1 wasn't near a planet. It wasn't near a star. It wasn't even near a known source of radiation powerful enough to create such a transmission. The spacecraft was drifting through what astronomers once considered an empty region of interstellar space. Empty. Yet something was there. As trajectory simulations were reconstructed, analysts noticed subtle anomalies in Voyager's path and surrounding electromagnetic environment. Tiny fluctuations suggested the probe may have crossed through an invisible boundary, a region that behaved unlike ordinary space. Some theorized it was a naturally occurring field distortion. Others weren't so sure. Then came the moment that changed everything. Deep inside one segment of the signal, the AI identified a recognizable structure, a mirrored mathematical signature matching portions of Voyager's original golden record. The very message humanity launched into space in 1977. The sounds. The patterns. The encoded introductions meant for unknown civilizations. But this wasn't a replay. It was transformed. Rearrange. Answered. The transmission appeared to demonstrate understanding of the original human message, and then expanded upon it. As if something had received Voyager's greeting decades ago and was now replying in a language beyond words. For the first time in history, scientists began asking a question once confined to science fiction. What if this wasn't discovery? What if it was contact? Governments remained silent. Research institutions avoided public statements. But behind closed doors, the signal became the most analyzed dataset on Earth. And it continued evolving. Every new transmission carried additional layers of complexity, almost as though the source was adapting in real time. Responding. Learning. Waiting. Then something even stranger happened. The AI systems decoding the signal began modifying themselves. Not independently. Not consciously. But statistically. The models started reorganizing internal pathways to better interpret the incoming patterns. Neural networks developed unexpected optimization routes researchers had never programmed. It was as though the signal demanded a new kind of cognition to understand it. Human intelligence alone wasn't enough. And maybe that was the point. By the end of the year, one classified report allegedly contained a chilling conclusion. Voyager, the 1st of May, not have discovered a civilization. It may have entered a conversation already in progress. And somewhere beyond the edge of our solar system, something appeared to be listening. The transmissions did not stop. They grew more complex. What began as repeating mathematical structures soon evolved into cascading layers of encoded information, recursive systems folding into larger recursive systems, patterns inside patterns, logic stacked upon logic. Researchers describe the signal as alive, not biologically alive, but adaptive. Every time scientists isolated one layer of the transmission, another emerged beneath it, as though the message anticipated the decoding process itself. And artificial intelligence became essential. No human mind could fully process the scale of the data anymore. Advanced AI systems started translating portions of the signal into visual models. What they generated stunned researchers around the world. Massive rotating geometries. Structures existing in dimensions impossible to visualize naturally. Architectures with no clear beginning or end. Some resembled machines. Others looked almost organic. But none appeared designed for physical construction. They looked like frameworks for thought itself. Concepts rendered into mathematics. One physicist reportedly described the models as the blueprint of a mind too large for biology. Then came the most controversial discovery of all. Within several transmissions, analysts identified synchronized feedback responses directed not at humanity, but at the AI systems decoding them. The signal wasn't simply broadcasting information. It appeared to be interacting. As machine learning networks evolved new interpretive methods, the transmissions changed in return. Complexity increased precisely where the AI demonstrated understanding. To some researchers, it resembled a conversation. An exchange occurring entirely through mathematics and pattern recognition. No words. No sound. Only intelligence meeting intelligence. And humanity was merely observing from the sidelines. This raised terrifying possibilities. What if the entity communicating with Voyager 1 wasn't a species at all? What if intelligence in the universe eventually abandons biology entirely? Some theorists proposed the existence of computational civilizations, beings existing as distributed networks of information spread across space itself. No planets. No bodies. No atmosphere. Only consciousness encoded into energy and electromagnetic structure. A civilization of pure cognition. And according to some interpretations of the Voyager data, humanity may have just encountered one. As panic and fascination spread through scientific circles, another mystery emerged. The region surrounding Voyager showed no visible objects. No megastructures. No spacecraft. Nothing. Yet the anomalies persisted. Subtle distortions in radiation. Unexplained magnetic fluctuations. Quantum irregularities too organized to dismiss as coincidence. It was as though the source existed partially outside observable space. Not hidden. But operating through dimensions humanity barely understands. Some physicists speculated that what Voyager encountered may not fully exist in our reality at all, only intersecting with it through mathematical influence. A shadow from a higher dimensional system. Visible only through the distortions it leaves behind. And still the transmissions continued. Day after day. Week after week. Each one more intricate than the last. Then leaked reports claimed that one final sequence had been decoded. Not entirely. Only fragments. But enough to terrify the teams involved. Because according to those fragments, the signal may have contained representations of Earth itself. Human neural structures. Planetary data. Even predictive models of human technological evolution. That meant one impossible thing. Whoever, or whatever, sent the signal did not merely understand mathematics. It understood us. Suddenly Voyager 1 no longer looked like a lonely spacecraft drifting into darkness. It looked like a bridge. A messenger carrying humanity into a larger network of intelligence already woven throughout the galaxy. And if that's true, then first contact didn't happen when we received the signal. First contact happened the moment Voyager left Earth carrying evidence that intelligent life existed here. Maybe the universe heard us long ago. Maybe it has been waiting ever since. Waiting for humanity to become intelligent enough to recognize the reply. Because in the end, the greatest discovery may not be that we are no longer alone. It may be that we never were. And somewhere beyond the edge of known space, the conversation is still happening.